evening, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to another episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club, the show where I taste things. Not just random things, of course, in the world. I taste various spirits, bourbons, beer, vodka, tequila, etc. All those different things. Occasionally a mead or a wine, or who knows. The only things I probably will not taste, unless I really get challenged and it's really enticing, is like some hard seltzer or something, because why? No, thank you. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I have already had a bit of Yellowstone bourbon, and I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm a little kind of like, kind of loopy right now, and that's fine. So please drink responsibly. Of course, I don't have any place to be. I'm not going to be leaving the house. I'm not going to be driving. All good. So, what do I have for you tonight? Tonight, I have Minor Case Straight Rye Whiskey, and it is sherry cask finished, which is something you don't always get in a bourbon or a rye, from Limestone Branch Distillery Company in Lebanon, Kentucky. Nice, huh? It's a nice bottle. I saw this at the local grocery store when I picked up the Yellowstone, and I have never had this before. I've never had anything by this distiller that I know of, and I have not had this particular bottle. So, and it says on the back, it's only a little bit of storyline, made according to Minor Case Beam's motto, whoever Minor Case Beam might be, craft only the finest whiskey. Simple, to the point, I suppose. This is 45% alcohol per volume, so it is 90 proof. It says 100% Heartland grains, 100% American, 100% Heartland grains. Interesting. Makes a nice sound when you ding the bottle. So I've got the plastic off. I haven't sniffed it yet. I haven't given this a taste to see what it's like. I'm out of ice cubes again. I had ice cubes for the last few tastings, and then I'm out again. So I have a little smidge of water in here just to open up the flavonoids and various other things. How's it going, Deadpool? Good to see you. This is what I do more often than I do my actual game streaming. So if you're interested in alcohol, by all means, this might be of interest to you. If you are not a drinker, that is perfectly okay. I don't discriminate against people at all, and I will not feel bad if people who are not drinkers decide they do not want to tune into my stream here, because I know some people struggle with alcohol-based problems and things, and that is perfectly fine. I'm not trying to push things on you. I totally respect your opinion. I totally respect that. Like Deadpool says, he's not a drinker, and you know what? That's cool. He's still tuning in. He's watching. He's having a good time. So, I totally respect people's individual choices. I'm the guy, if we're at like a social setting and we're hanging out and I'm like, hey, you want a drink? And you say no, that's perfectly cool. Absolutely cool. That's respect. That's respect. I am not ever going to just be pushing, be like, why don't you just try one taste, guy, girl, whatever. No, I'm not going to do that. So, but this is what I do. So I do tastings. And we're going to crack open the cork here. Smells good. Smells a little deceptive. A little deceptive. You never know. I can smell some whiskey in there, but it's not real strong in the bottle. Interesting. Interesting. Let's pour it in the glass and see how it smells. I was going to say tastes and smells at the same time. It's going to be smastes. I don't know. Let's try and see what it's like. in the glass because often it's different in the glass than it is in the bottle. So cork that back up. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, little cork there. Okay. So it's a nice color. It's a nice average rye bourbon kind of color. Not too spectacular. Nice golden honey kind of color, right? Smells good. Actually, it does not smell real strongly of alcohol, which is deceptive because it is 90 proof. So it's not weak by any means. It's not 100 proof. And it's not really excessive, but it is 90 proof. So I'm interested in how this is going to translate into the flavor. I can smell the effect of the sherry casks. I'm smelling a little bit of a wine smell, but not the sour part, like not the acidic sour part that you usually get from smelling a bottle of wine, but more like the mild kind of grape, kind of fruity kind of scent that sits in the background. Yeah, I can smell the sherry cask in there, which is really interesting because a lot of times you can't. A lot of times you cannot smell what barrel they came in necessarily, unless you have an exceptionally good nose, which mine is okay. It's not, great. I can tell some smells. I can tell when one of my cats has decided to be angry at me and has made a mess in the house. I can smell that pretty quick. But I'm not like by any means, I'm not a bloodhound. So, but it is an interesting smell and I like it. I like that it's mild. It's sweet. It's a little sharp, but not bad. It does not smell like alcohol. But it is 90 proof, so don't be fooled because it is high proof alcohol. So I'm gonna take a deep breath and then we're gonna try it. See how it goes. Now that is interesting. That is definitely interesting. I'm getting a lot of alcohol bloom after the fact in the chest. This is a this is something that if you drank this too fast, you'd probably get some heartburn. Okay. But it's very mildly sweet. You can definitely tell that a sherry cask was involved here. Because when you have a scotch or another whiskey, generally scotches are finished off in sherry casks while they age. And you can tell because there's a little bit of fruitiness, a little bit of, crispness, some spring in there. But in bourbons and ryes, you don't always have that. This is definitely an interesting taste. It is not bad. I'm not getting any very distinct flavors other than the fact that it has been done in the sherry cask. It doesn't taste like sherry particularly, but it is very interesting. It's very mild. Like other than that bloom of like stuff in the chest, it does numb the mouth a little bit though. So um, it is an interesting, very, very interesting expression. I'm gonna need a second taste, I think. I'm gonna see if I can come up with some more points from it. Let's see how it goes. Mm. There's definitely a fruit taste in there. It's hard to tell what kind though, because it's from sherry, which is a lot like a wine. There's probably some grape in there, but it'd be like white grape. And I'm not a fan of white wine at all. Like I don't like white wine. I don't like white wine. I don't like pink wine. The only wines I really, really like, I like Cabs, Cabernet Sauvignon. I like Pinot Noir. I like Merlot, and I like Shiraz. And occasionally I like some other things outside of that range, but not too often. It's basically four types, and they're all the dark red wines that I'm a big fan of. Shiraz more than any of the others. This has a definite white wine feel to it, but not in a bad way, which is interesting because since I'm not a fan of white wine, I normally would not like that kind of thing. But mixed with the grains and mixed with the rye, it is very pleasant. This is super drinkable. This is very drinkable at 90 proof, which is kind of a problem because sometimes something like that you can start sipping on and then you can forget how much you've had and go a little crazy. So this is one of those ones that's deceptive. You want to go easy with it. You want to be careful with it. Unless you're a person that holds your alcohol exceptionally well, and there are a lot of people like that. I don't want to point any fingers or point any blame at anybody. But unless you are one of those people, this is a sleeper. This is a sleeper because this will sneak up on you. I can already tell that a couple of these, I would think, oh, this is really nice. This is smooth. Throw a couple of these back. And then after two or three, you stand up and you're starting to feel a little, ooh, everything's kind of wobbly. So just be careful, know your limits. Know your limits and make sure that if you're going to be doing heavy drinking with something like this, be in a safe place, be in a place where you know you're not going to have to leave very soon so you can sober up. Okay? But it is delicious. This is a nice evening sipper. That's what I'll tell you. This is a nice sit at home, maybe watch one of your favorite shows, um, maybe a movie. I don't know. Have a snack, maybe a nice dinner. Even this might be really good with some red sauce Italian foods, like some marinara sauce or something like that. Hear me out. I think it'd be a great addition to something like that. I think it'd be a good accompaniment to some nice Italian food or anything with a rich, sweet sauce like that. I think this would do very well with that. Um, I don't think this would be as much for just a regular, like, I wouldn't want to take shots of this. It's not a shot drinker. If you're going to do it social, it's a social dinner rye. It's a social dinner rye. You have a bunch of friends over, you have a bunch of good food, you watch some TV or you do some stuff and just have some sips. That's what I think. Or again, a quiet evening at home as a replacement for a glass of wine or something like that with a nice dinner. Okay. This might be also a good romantic date ride. You know, if you're going to have a date with somebody and they're coming over, you're going to cook them dinner. You cook them a nice meal. You pour them a little bit of this. It's a nice night. I'm not going to say it's going to get you any magic or anything like that. That's up to you and what kind of a person you are and the connection you have. I'm not giving you advice in that area. Okay. I am going to pet this cat because, you know, it's live video and I have cats. But I think it would be a great choice for a nice romantic dinner or even a big social dinner, as long as it's a nice, good amount of food. And yeah, that's what I think. I can't really like say it too much more with this cat's tail in my face, and he's clawing my leg. Thanks, cat. So there you have it. That is minor case straight rye whiskey, sherry cask finished. I like it. The cat apparently enjoys the scent. It's from Limestone Branch Distillery. It is 90 proof. This was a $39.99 bottle here in Canton, Ohio, price wise. I know I've been kind of spotty on my prices lately because I haven't been paying as close attention as I should be, even though, you know, I know what they are when I buy them. I just don't, I need to make a mental note to be like, remember this price so you can tell people on the show how much it costs. But yeah, this is a $39.99 bottle. So decent enough price for what you get. And I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. Okay. So there you go. I don't know when the next time I will have another bottle for you. Probably sometime next week, maybe, because that's payday. And I got a couple bills to pay, and we will see. I know I have to do a few more episodes of the Cheap Shot Challenge, and I may do some beers or some non-spirits kind of things soon. This cat doesn't know what we want to do, but who knows? We'll see. It's always kind of up in the air what I see at the store and what I decide to pick up. I have a lot of options that I've not gone for. I should just start picking things at random, even if they don't look good, just to see, because you never know. You never know. And I need to start branching out into cognacs and maybe tequilas and vodkas. Vodkas are my last, like, I don't really want to try more vodkas. I'm not a big fan of vodka, but if you guys want to see it, I will try more vodkas. Um, but probably tequilas, rums. I will probably try some more rums. And that is true. Deadpool in the chat right there says I have chosen things at random. Um, it's like anything else. It's like you go to the bookstore. Okay, you go to a bookstore and you see a nice cover. And you're like, oh man, that looks really great. And you pick up the book. You have no idea about the author. You have no idea about the story, but the cover looks awesome. So you buy the book. It's a great book. Sometimes it's garbage. Sometimes it's trash. It's the worst book you've ever read. Sometimes it's amazing. Same thing with CDs. I used to do that with CDs back in music stores when music stores were a bigger thing than they are now. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, where CDs were still king before MP3 became like everything and streaming even replaced MP3. I would go to the CD store like people would go to the record store back before me, even before my time. And they'd leaf through and be like, this is a great cover. This cover looks awesome. I wonder how this music is. And sometimes you got burned. Sometimes you got burned, but sometimes you found something really amazing. And that's what I do with my spirits. I go and I look and I see, hey, you know what? What's something I haven't tried before that looks interesting? And I have been surprised. I have been surprised many times. So that's my advice. Go ahead, just check out what's on your local shelves, see what looks good to you, and just try it. Maybe it sucks. Maybe you waste $60. Maybe you waste $40. Who knows? Maybe you buy something really ridiculously expensive and you don't realize it and you waste $100. But you tried it. You tried it. Always try things. Always try things. I'm a big believer in trying things out before you decide you don't like it. Just give them a try. Unless it's like some things don't try. Like don't go out there and try methamphetamines just because, oh, that looks interesting. Don't do that. Don't go out and try heroin. Don't don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. Other things are okay, but don't do that. And that's where I'm going to leave you guys. Um, so that is, but Spider said, that's why I have the little disclaimer. Disclaimer. You can tell I've had a little bit to drink already. The slurring has begun. Anyway, be responsible. Okay, make smart choices. This was minor case straight rye whiskey. I liked it. $39.99 here in Canton, Ohio. Prices may differ in your local area. So until next time, this has been another episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club sent simultaneously to Facebook, YouTube, and my Twitch channel. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see what I have on deck for next time on tap. And you guys have a good night. Until next time, cheers.